Went back out. Can they see it now?
Yes. Thank you.
That's weird.
Okay.
Okay, very good.
We have this exciting proclamation.
Yes.
All kinds of little kitties here.
Absolutely. Also, for anyone who's never heard of proclamation read, there's a lot of whereas, but that's part of the proclamation, so if we can bear with that. So this is a proclamation for the Green Tree Athletic Association. Whereas the Green Tree Athletic Association's baseball and softball teams have displayed exceptional dedication, sportsmanship, and teamwork throughout the 2025 spring season. And whereas their accomplishments on the field have inspired fellow athletes, brought the community together in celebration, and demonstrated the values of hard work, discipline, and teamwork. And whereas the 8U softball team, Altman, had a regular season record of 13-1 and placed first in the CVC gold bracket. Whereas the 10U baseball team Everline, had a regular season record of 12-0 and went 3-0 in the playoffs and won the league championship. And whereas the 12U baseball team Mortarella had a regular season record of 10-3-1 and went 2-1 to finish second in the playoffs. And whereas the 12U softball team Kazarian, had a regular season record of 13-3 and placed first. Whereas the 8U softball all-star team attended 3 tournaments with a combined record of 9-2-1 and had tournament wins at Mount Lebanon and Brookline. And whereas the 10U baseball all-star team attended 4 tournaments with a combined record of 16-2 and had tournament wins at Riverview Reserve, Brookline, and Hemlock Heroes Classic at Green Tree Park. And whereas the 12U baseball all-star team attended 3 tournaments with a combined record of 7-6 and had tournament wins at Chartiers Valley and a second place finish at Penn Township. And whereas the 12U softball all-star team attended 1 tournament with a record of 4-1 and had a tournament win at Hemlock Heroes Classic at Green Tree Park. Now therefore be it resolved that Green Tree Borough Council and the mayor do hereby recognize and congratulate the Green Tree Athletic Association teams for their achievements during the 2025 spring season and commend them for their outstanding representation of our Green Tree community. Resolved and adopted this 3rd day of November 2025.
That way, all of your loved ones can take a picture and you can get around the applause and get a picture. You know, we have some photos too. You need to have a motion.
That's better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on, let's go.
Oh, do you want to hold your trophies too in the photo? Or put them in front of you? I'll open it down.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Thank you.
Very exciting.
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the coaches. The coaches spend many hours. I mean, they work all day, come home, and do the coaching. So, thank you, for all the work that you do.
Thank you.
May I speak?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, council, Mayor Shea, and Borough Manager Judy Miller. Without her help and everyone's help here with volunteering and everything, this wouldn't have been possible to happen. So as you can see in front of us, we have all the trophies and all the awards from throughout the season, and it's a pretty neat display to say that over one spring 2025 season and a summer 2025 season, this is all the hardware that most of our teams brought home. So it's pretty neat. I want to give them another round of applause. One piece of information that I'm reluctant to bring up, but in the 12U title game, which was my team, we happened to lose to Dormont. So that being said, the CVKO title game was all Keystone Oaks players. So that was a very unique thing that happened. And again, that was an accomplishment on both parts. Each of us had one player from Castle Shannon. So 98% of the team was made up from Keystone Oaks. And I thought that should be acknowledged here as well. And thank you to the volunteers and helpers. Without the parents, the umpires, the stand workers, anyone who helps on the field, including the borough crew, anyone who else does anything, volunteers at the All-Star games, bringing food, items. We basically can't do what we did this summer and spring without the parents who sacrificed their time and effort to help the kids out. So I'd like to give them a round of applause too. And finally, it doesn't happen without the kids. They are what puts smiles on everyone's faces. The hot dogs, the pretzels, the nachos, the slushies, the home runs, the hits, the screaming, the yelling, the chants, the spitting seeds, the chewing gum. All of these things are what make baseball, softball, really exciting sport. And they commit a lot of time, effort, and spend a lot of time at the field, not only for their own teams, but they do go to all the other games as well. So they cross support both boys baseball and girls softball, all the age groups up and down. And without them, none of this happens and none of that hardware is here. So let's give those kids a round of applause. Thank you, council, for your time. Now you can get on to your meeting.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being here, everyone, and I hope everyone has a good day off tomorrow. All right, we are going to move on to the hearing of the citizens. So all persons wishing to address general business agenda items can be heard at this time. You need to come to the microphone and say your name and your address.
Christine Short, 251 Park Edge. Point Park was here in May to discuss the field. And then it was handed to the planning commission in August. And we held a open meeting for all residents to come. And then the following 2 weeks later, we had our meeting with recommendations made. We made those recommendations to council in September. Where are we at with this?
I think Ms. Schwartz can answer it. It's her committee.
We actually had a meeting scheduled with them. It coincided with the deer meeting. Point Park actually said they could not make that, so we have been trying to work out another date to meet with them. So we're trying to coordinate schedules between the mayor, myself, and Point Park. So it's in process, it just hasn't.
Yeah, they were unable to come to the meeting.
I also like to thank Mayor Shank and Mr. Ray for coming to the Halloween happenings over at the fire hall that the recreation board put on. We had a lot of kids. Thank you.
Yeah.
Matt?
Yeah.
Hey gang, my name is Josh Shapiro. First question is, are you the governor? I moved to Green Tree, I live on 5 Elmhurst, right in Denver. So, I moved to Green Tree last April, April 1st to be exact. And what's that, about 19 and a half months ago, and I'm just looking for one quick answer. Actually, a few quick answers, but like, we just start with one. I've asked numerous times and I've gotten many different responses. Am I allowed to kick the water, rainwater and some water to the street? Right, like Judy, you and I spoke on the phone about 3 Fridays ago. I asked you 3 times. You told me a story about your nephew. That he has like a sewer break underneath his home. Then you told me it's complicated, and then you told me, oh, it's a thing, letters are going out.
Actually, Josh, I do have, I sent you multiple emails of response.
Well, I did get that it was in the spam folder, and if I can just finish, but also if we could take a few steps backwards. You know, Chris House, I don't believe works for the borough anymore. It's not, right? So he told me I was allowed to kick it, I wasn't allowed to kick it to the street. Then he just told me I'm allowed. And then honestly, in 18 months prior to that, I've gotten yes, and I've gotten no, and if I can quickly finish. I had about upwards of 20 contractors to my house. Right, half of them told me this is on Green Tree Borough because the pitch of the street brings everything to my house. And that is very accurate. So if you go down Green Tree Road and it curls into Elmhurst on the first house, right? And then it's flat, but a little bit of an increase, ever so slightly, and then it goes down. So all the water comes this way, Green Tree comes this way, everything goes down to my driveway. Right? And everybody's saying they just need to put a storm sewer right in front of your house. It's on the borough, which makes sense. I watch the water every day, just the linger in front of my house. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen, and I haven't had 1 minute of realization since I've been living in Green Tree. Now, a few Fridays ago, actually, you and I spoke on a Thursday, because Friday morning, you showed up unannounced, and you told my wife that we just need to cut our losses.
I absolutely did not say that.
Okay, you said you need to spend the money or cut your losses if I can finish,
Sure.
because I had to throw away my baby clothes with all the flooding. Our house flooded 2 times. Josh, throw away your baby clothes, cut your losses. My wife got shingles from the flooding all over her face, in her ears, in her mouth, down her throat, so close to her eye, where she screamed herself to sleep for 2 months. Well, let me cut my losses real quick, right? So, you know, you want me to spend, you told me it's so expensive on that Thursday on that phone call. And then you told my wife that we needed to cut our losses and just dig up the street. We should have done it when we were installing the sewer, but we were under contract and that was on the seller. Right? So that wasn't us doing that. And you asked her why we didn't attach the sump pump. Okay, why we didn't attach the sump pump and all the rainwater across the street to that sewer line whenever we were digging it up, but we weren't. We just walked in the door and we were gifted this beautiful experience, right? So you told me the day before it's really expensive, and then you said we had to cut our loss ourselves. Second question, actually, if we can answer the question, am I allowed to kick it to the street? Because you told me it's complicated and letters are going out.
So.
I asked you 3 times, it's a yes or no question. May I kick it to the street?
If you have a sump pump kicking into the street, 4 times the knob will cause a icing issue in the winter time. So no, you can't do.
So
that.
every single person on Elmhurst kicking
It
it to the
is-
street is not allowed,
So typically.
or they're
if it is-
allowed and I'm not.
If it is a downspout that just discharges as it collects the rain, rather than collect it, a pumped basement full or all the water coming in and then discharging it in force to the street, that's. Excuse me, that is a problem. You can't do that.
So every single person on Elmhurst with a sump pump kicking it to the street, because I've gotten to know everybody and they all have sump pumps kicking it to the street.
And if it creates an icing problem, then we will ask you to remedy the problem. And there are those issues on probably, I'd say maybe 6 homes in town.
So it's selective.
Mr. Shapiro,
Yes.
I serve as solicitor for the borough. Let me confer with the borough engineer and Ms. Miller later this week.
And
And
okay,
we can discuss this issue and get you a response. So I need to get more facts regarding this situation, but then Ms.
Come over
Miller,
anytime and you can see how all the water just goes down my driveway. So it's like I have to battle groundwater, rainwater, and Green Tree Borough street pitch, right? It's a lose-lose. And I do have a second question, but I don't want to interrupt you, Jacob.
No, I just wanted to say I'm happy to work with Ms. Miller and the borough engineer on this one and try to provide some clarity and answers. In Ms. Miller's defense, stormwater runoff is a complicated issue. I've been doing this for a long time. I represent a lot of municipalities. Unfortunately, it is usually never as easy as a yes or no. It takes a
I've
lot
been
of,
asking for 19 months, actually 19 and a half.
well, I can assure you, I have looked into this.
You and I spoke in April. I do have one more quick thing. It's about, whenever we were under contract, Greater Pittsburgh Plumbing removed a backflow valve. Right? And they were in direction from the Green Tree Borough. Right? Green Tree Borough told Greater Pittsburgh Plumbing, just remove it. Now, Judy, when we flooded on April 2nd, I called you a few days later, right? And you told me, it's a backflow valve. You're fine. Don't worry about it. You did, I could, that pink house.
Checked
if you-
90% of your comments as to things that I've said. because-
I can tell you exactly where I was. I was walking my dog Romeo in front of that pink house around the corner from Elmhurst that just sold. I have an incredible memory. It's a very photographic memory, and I stood there in front of that house, and you and I spoke for about 25 minutes. And you told me all your house stories, not where you're living now, but prior. And you said, don't worry about it, backflow valves aren't that important. You're fine. And then you said, if our house didn't have issues during the flood of April 2nd and April 11th, we're good. You 100% said that, Judy Miller.
Well,
Can I say, just one more?
And the only thing I do want to say is when you mentioned I showed up at your home unannounced. Due to your
I would rather talk
concern,
about anything else. I don't care.
due to your concern.
Like, let's talk about the other stuff.
I did not, we stopped at the property. I took the borough engineer out to try to determine if there was.
And that's when you told my wife that we should just cut our losses, dig up the road. You said roughly $55,000, put it in a storm sewer across the street. And then you asked her why we didn't do it when we were digging up the road prior.
I didn't ask that because I knew for a fact that the prior owner did that work, and we said it was unfortunate that at that time, the owner that sold you the house did not do that for you. I mean, it's not surprising, but you know, it would have been nice if when they had the driveway ripped out, that they would have done that. They
You didn't say,
It
should have
might
just
have
done this when you had it ripped
And
up.
I never really said cut your losses, so.
I don't believe that for a second because she came up crying, Judy. Yeah, okay, one last question because it's back to the backflow valve, right? You said, oh, but you're fine, it's not that necessary. Judy, can I speak because you said it on the phone?
Hmm.
You did, 100%. You absolutely did.
Mr. Shapiro.
If I have one more question,
Yeah,
so if it's not that important for a backflow valve, per Judy Miller, right? Why was it installed in all those homes after whatever hurricane? I wasn't living here at the moment, right? There was a hurricane, all the houses flooded on Elmhurst. And then backflow valves were installed, and then the road was worked on with all storm drains, not one in front of our house, but all the other houses saved everyone but ours. If it's not that big of a deal to have a backflow valve, why was it installed and why is it maintained by the borough? In the other houses? It's just because I was removed and I was told it was fine, and another thing is with the right to know thing, right? I've submitted numerous times and I've gotten zero information. I got a few pieces of paper, it's very vague. But you know, I'll submit like, I need more information on the backflow valve removal. And the answer would be like, I need more specifics. Okay, the backflow valve remover in April. Okay, what about it? I don't know. And then you just give up, right? Like I submitted 100 times. And then even with the flooding prior on the house, I just want more information on the flooding, right? The day I moved in, my house flooded. I moved everything into the garage and basement, 9 inches. I have a guitar in it. There's 50 of them made in 1986, right? Sitting in 10 inches of water. I've had this since I was 12. Baby clothes, like I mentioned, but you know, pay your losses. But what I'm saying is, I have no information and I can't get it, and you're not working with me. You should be working with me as a resident and a property owner in Green Tree to help. And you are, what's the opposite of help? This, right? I submit the right to know any information on prior flooding, just so I can have some information, because literally the day I moved in, my entire house flooded, right? It was wild. So I just want more information. I need specific dates. I don't know. I just moved here, right? I need more information on the backflow valve removal. What about it? The removal. Okay, I need more information. Like, this doesn't make any sense. I would like more. You guys want specifics. I don't know. Help me. Right? It's been 19 and a half months.
So our borough solicitor, he's agreed to get involved in the engineer. I think with your presence here, it's gonna get moved to the top of the list. Mr. Leland and our engineer.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Esther, but I'm very close to going to the news with this and just being like, hey, this is almost 2 years of just the runaround. Like every time I get off the phone with the borough or anybody that works for the borough, it's a word salad. And my head's spinning and I'm like, I know everything about this person's family, I know about her house, but I don't have a yes or no.
I mean, you have to make your own choices, but I would suggest that you give a borough engineer and solicitor an opportunity here. But we appreciate you bringing it to our attention.
Yeah, thank you.
And I appreciate everybody listening. I always imagine like if 7 to 10 phone calls would help and great to meet you guys. I guess I had to come down.
Thank you for coming and telling us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Hi guys, my name is Megan Piano. I live on 960 Glencoe, right around the corner over here. Much shorter, but just one concern that I wanted to bring to you guys that we moved in about 3 years ago when my son was born. I have 2 little kids, and we live right on the corner where that blind bend is by the police station, right where the sidewalk ends. And I just wanted to share a concern with that particular section of street. There are a ton of kids that walk on that street. They walk to summer rec, they walk to the pool, to the library, to the Green Tree events, everything. And there's no visibility coming around that bend. And I've seen so many, I sit in the office that watches that bend. And I've seen so many kids almost get hit on that curb, and it's scary for me. I have 2 little kids. I love that Green Tree is a walking community. We walk everywhere. You probably see me and my kids in my stroller walking on Green Tree Road like every other day. But to be totally honest, we're afraid to walk on Rhodes Avenue where there's no sidewalk because we've almost been hit probably 4 or 5 times. And I have a 3 and a 4-year-old. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention. It's been something that, we've been, trying to talk to other members of the planning commission and things like that. And I figured if I brought it here, maybe it could be addressed a little bit sooner. I don't know if, adding a sidewalk or just additional safety measures. I mean, I would leave that to you guys, but I'd really like it to be addressed just for the safety of our kids. Just walking on that road, it's a tough road to see kids on. All right, that's all. Thank you.
I did want to address that. I recently was approached by one of your neighbors that was concerned about speeding. And he asked the possibility of maybe a speed bump that would deter. And I just been made aware of this a week ago, and I was going to bring it up at our next public safety committee meeting to add that section of Glencoe onto the 3 other streets that we are looking at currently. We're currently looking at School Street, Abbott, and Rhodes, actually. So we are aware of that, and things will start getting done.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so
Not
much.
a problem.
Thank you.
Good evening, John Cobbler, 57 Rhodes Avenue. 2 months ago, I brought a suggestion to council about having something put on the agenda besides ordinances and financial stuff. I see nothing's happened yet, so I guess I'll have to come up every month and just ask questions that I hope will be addressed during the meeting. Because if I don't, we probably won't hear anything about it, and then I'll be wondering another month, what's the status of this? So, things I'd like to hear tonight is updates on the pool. Where are we at with the pool? Are the bids done? Are they still on? When do we expect them to be done? When do we expect to make a decision on the bids? Are the bids higher than what we expected? Are we gonna table this thing? What are we doing? So I'd really like to hear a good update on that tonight. Second thing, the solar panels. I know we're saying we're looking into it. I'd just like to know if anybody has any update on any more looking into solar panels over at the pool and the maintenance buildings. I really think it's a win-win situation. Although one thing I did read in the paper a couple weeks ago, the initiatives for tax breaks, putting in solar panels is gonna go away at the end of the year because of our government. So then we gotta wait 3 years before we have another election, and maybe we'll get, and it's some tax breaks again with the solar panel, I don't know. But I know that's probably gonna affect that particular situation. But I want that to be known, so you know what you're looking at. And see if you've talked to anybody or any of the companies that put solar panels in borough buildings, on borough buildings. Sounds like we will get an update on the speeding issues in the borough. One thing I was aware of was, I guess it was about 3-4 weeks ago, there was a fellow walking on the street across from my house with a wheel. Asked him what he was doing. He says, well, I'm out here measuring for speed bumps. I says, oh. I says, so has there been a decision? We're gonna put speed bumps on a road? And he said, I don't know. He said, I'm just told to measure. And my concern about that is, I don't really want us to make a quick decision and just put speed bumps in. My idea was rumble strips. Because they're not as big as a bump, but it's still you're gonna fill with the car, and slow you down. So I don't know if you're thinking about that.
Mr. Crawford, what I think that might have been, where they might have been, measuring to place the speed monitoring, strips. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah.
Notice those placed
Yeah.
after he did that?
You're talking about, it's gonna show you the speed limit you're going.
Exactly,
That's not what he said, though. He said speed bumps.
okay. But
So-
following that measuring, we did notice the thing, because they did.
There's nothing done yet.
Okay.
On roads have nothing. The other thing I brought up 2 months ago was the light pole that was blown over in April. I'd like to hear if we got an update on that. If we do, okay, that's fine. You're gonna cover it. I'm good. So I'll wait for the answers on that. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Poplar, I did want to let you know, I did hear you with the bullet points on the agenda. We did discuss it in an executive session last month, to talk about the legal ramifications of having a bulleted agenda. And Mr. Leland is looking into that matter for us. So it is on discussion. It's just not something that we could immediately make changes for.
Just curious, what kind of legal issues are there with?
I'll let Mr. Leland.
Well, just
Yeah,
with respect to the Sunshine Act, what's required under the Sunshine Act, what's required, is there any flexibility with recent case laws if council were to include a bullet point under every single chair report, and then, you know, if a council member then wanted to discuss a certain topic that they forgot to reach out to Judy in advance, would they still be able to do so? So I'm working with Shannon right now. We're trying to find some other models. I can tell you that Green Tree's agenda is more thorough than a lot of other municipalities out there. That's not to say it can't be more thorough, but really what we're going to do is make sure that if we're going to make any substantive changes to the agenda, it's going to comply with what's required under the Sunshine Act.
Okay. Well, my thought is, when I brought the idea up, it sounded like there was at least several members on council thought it was a good idea. I think it would shorten the meeting out because I wouldn't have to come up here and ask these questions. I know it's gonna be discussed. So that's my thoughts. I just think it's gonna improve the meeting, and I appreciate the time. that
Yeah,
you gave.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fred Singer, 133 Sheldon. I just wanted a quick update, if there is one, on our discussions at the last meeting about the deer problem.
An update here in a minute. Yep, an update during my committee report.
Thank you.
My name is Chris Crossley. I live at 69 West Middle Avenue. I contacted the Borough Administration regarding a political mailer that was sent to Green Tree residents this past weekend. I was told that this, well, I wasn't told. This mailer included the borough logo and actively supported two candidates currently on the ballot. I was told by Judy that the logo was reviewed, it is not copyrighted, and that there's nothing the borough can do about this. Many Green Tree residents saw the mailers and believed that they were official document communications. They looked official with no paid for line, which state law requires on campaign literature, and there's little to indicate that this propaganda is not official borough documentation. If our borough logo was being used as a text scan, I apologize, I'm coming down with cold. If it was being used in a text scan, I bet you guys will all take action. It doesn't look good when the borough is not taking action, when when one of the candidates on there is currently sitting on the stage. Our borough logo is a symbol many residents associate with neutrality and government service. Even if it is not copyrighted, it still holds meaning and influence. When a political piece uses our logo, many residents will assume it's government support. So it's a moral obligation to protect the public trust and should work now to prevent residents from being confused tomorrow during the election.
So I can interject on this one. I certainly understand your concerns. This was brought to my attention over the weekend by a council member. And I looked into it today, Mr. Ray. And I just want to note on the record a few things that I think are important. Number one is that the Green Tree Democratic Committee, which is the organization that distributed this mailer throughout the borough, is not affiliated with the borough of Green Tree. Secondly, I am not aware that the Democratic Committee either sought approval or obtained approval from the borough. I don't believe anyone up here knew that the mailer was going to go out featuring the borough of Green Tree's logo on it. Again,
on.
No, I'm gonna let him finish.
no, I'm being.
So no, go ahead, because, yeah, go ahead.
And also, I can also say the issue that we run into is that the logo is not trademarked or copyrighted. And that's not unique to Green Tree. A lot of municipalities, a lot of school districts, they haven't registered their logos to promote free use of the same. We also don't have a policy yet that governs third-party usage of the logo. So that's something that can be considered to change going forward. For the time being, given the facts that we have, all the council and the borough can really do is issue a statement clarifying that it's not affiliated with the mailer. I believe that the mayor and possibly Mr. Ray intend to make statements to that effect tonight. And to the extent that anybody believes that it's a violation of election law, I would direct you to contact the Pennsylvania Department of State as well as the Allegheny County Elections Division. The Borough Council does not have the authority to oversee election practices. It's not within the enumerated powers vested in this council under the Borough Code. So I cannot speak on election law. I can only talk about the use of our logo. And until such time as it's registered with the federal government, there's really not a tremendous amount that the borough can do besides issue that statement.
Which I totally get. I think that's a huge mistake that's not copyrighted. I don't understand that. A simple Google search will reveal that it's common practice that candidates don't use these logos. And it actually cites the many places that they are. So I was kind of surprised it's not. But my point isn't that this is a legal issue. This is a moral issue. This is something where people can just be decent human beings and respect the common courtesy of what that logo represents. And I really believe that it's not being respected. And that if they can do it, the Democrats and the Republicans can do it. They can have independents. You could have every person here sending out a letter to nasty about their neighbors and using the Green Tree logo, making it look like it's official documentation. Unfortunately, I don't think it's that hard to just send out an email and a post saying, hey, look, we saw our logo used for this. In case there's a confusion, we don't officially endorse this. I don't think it's very common. I don't think there's even a law against that. And I don't think that there's any reason our representatives here couldn't actually just go on Facebook and post that themselves. But instead, it's going to be a lot of play out. It's going to be appeared as election interference, and it's only going to hurt our community. So.
Aaron Mortarella, 179 Arlo Drive. I have no voice. Mike Tolman heard me yesterday. So I I wasn't planning on speaking today, but I just feel like every time I have to come up here, it's regarding a moral issue with this community and this council and things that are done. At what point is that going to stop when we have to keep questioning the morals of this council and what is done? I can't believe I have to keep coming up here and asking this. So I understand the legal ramifications, but to sit here and say that something was mailed out that the party A didn't know about that was using logo, no one here is that blind. This community understands what's happening. They see what's going on, and we so badly want to trust this council. At what point can we trust the right things are being done for this community? I don't need an answer. I want you to think about that. There is responsibility that comes with that seat for this community to be able to trust you, and it has not happened. And every time we come here, there is a question of morality and issues. And we as citizens and community members should not have to continually question the morality of this council. When are you gonna change that? That has to stop first and foremost. Thank you.
Nicholas Callis, 322 Forest Drive. Mr. Leland, just follow-up question for you, because I know the council person in question is an officer on this council and an officer with the Democratic Committee. Is there anything about a conflict of interest where somebody holding office currently can also be a part of that organization?
I will earnestly tell you that I'm not an expert on election law. My job is to represent the elected officials. I don't know all of the ins and outs. All I can do again is say, if you have any concerns regarding the validity or the legality of that mailer, there is proper channels that you can take. But unfortunately, this is not the proper forum to ask this council to look into that.
Okay, thank you.
Maureen Callis, I live with him.
Can you say your address though, please?
322
We just.
Forest Drive.
Thank you.
I just want to say that the timing of council members stepping down and the timing of this mailer unearths me. Thank you for bringing up the morality that's here. You know, when I moved into Green Tree 30-some years ago, it was like Mayberry, Pennsylvania. The safest place on earth. The policemen, we knew them all by name. I have older kids, so I don't know them all by name now. But this unnerves me. It unnerves me because it's a political play. It unnerves me because many of my friends that want to be a part of the Democratic Committee cannot get responses from them.
That is not borough business. I do
Okay.
have to stop you because that is
You can
not
stop me.
borough business.
And I'm talking because your name is in this flyer as well. We're talking about telling people to vote for someone's legacy who was
That
a
is
dear
not
friend,
borough
a
business.
dear friend
She's my friend.
to
too.
many people in this borough. And we should be talking as a community,
Ma'am,
instead of, let me finish my sentence, sir. I am bringing up borough business, if you can give me the time to speak.
Again, the mayor.
If you can give me the time to speak and finish my sentence, then I will bring up borough business.
Please.
What I would like to see from this council, instead of people talking about morality, is to see how we're gonna honor this legacy in this community that this woman gave her life to. That's what I would like to see from this council. Because you're saying for us to turn this in, this showed up on my doorstep Saturday and tomorrow's election day.
We will move on to our.
Excuse me,
Go ahead.
I'd like to bring one other thing out of order. Officer Frederick's here tonight. I appreciate his on.
Thank you.
He's on duty
So I don't wanna take him off the street too long. He's past probation, this 1 year, David Ray, but I just did an introduction. He has the 1 year probation, so did Cameron Hewitt. We had these two officers, they've done an outstanding job. I've seen, even today, I've seen Officer Frederick deal with a young man that had a mental episode. He handled it very nicely. Had to talk to his mom, had to talk to his brother, had to talk to him. He's done an excellent job. So he's gonna be a full-time officer, have full-time protection. So can I turn it to me, since he's here? Can I-
No, I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that we move the Public Safety Committee meeting up first. I
We
just
just, how
second.
about just the,
This
not the
part.
entire report?
Okay, just,
So as.
well, there's a motion.
Second that motion.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second, all in favor of moving that piece to now.
Aye.
Okay.
So yes, as the mayor indicated, Officer Frederick successfully completed his 1 year probationary period with the Green Tree Police Department. And Acting Chief Rannigan has recommended him for full-time employment. He has demonstrated strong professionalism, teamwork, and dedication throughout the past year. His performance has been exemplary and has been a valuable member of the department. So I move that we appoint Mr. Tyler Frederick to full-time police officer effective November 4th, 2025, in accordance with Acting Chief Rannigan's correspondence dated October 6th, 2025.
You have a motion, do we have a second? Second. We have a motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? Congratulations.
You want to say anything? I'll say, yeah.
So firstly, I want to say thank you for making me full-time member of the police department. I love it here. Let me make you aware, I'm here one time. I'm originally from the eastern side of the state. So my second year in the Pittsburgh area, I spent Green Tree, and I've loved it ever since, which is one of the reasons why. Another thing I want to say is I appreciate everyone's passion for Green Tree. I mean, I did not know what I was walking myself into when I came to this meeting tonight. And, I'm thankful that people are involved.
They told him to come late.
Yeah.
Something to avoid it.
Well, you know, it's good to have a taste of it. It's good to see the problems out there, the problems that people want to address that too. It's nice seeing people involved. That's the basics of civics, is to be involved, to be heard. And, you know, just be here, be a part of the community. So I can appreciate that too. I want to thank council and everyone up here for everything that you do for us as a department and supporting us as employees and for supporting the community. So thank you, everyone in this room, for all that you do. So. I apologize, but I do have to get back to work. Thank you all.
Thanks, Jonathan. What do we do?
Yeah, sure, we can do it now. So we have a second officer, Mr. Cameron Hewitt, who is also being recommended by Chief Rannigan to full-time employment, and he, just as Tyler, Chief Rannigan said, for both of them, strong professionalism, teamwork, dedication throughout the year. He's also exemplary and he's definitely an added value to the police department. So with that, I move that we appoint Mr. Cameron Hewitt to full-time police officer effective November 4th, 2025, in accordance with Acting Chief Rannigan's correspondence dated October 6th, 2025.
Have a motion, do we have a second? Second. We have a motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Any opposed, or any abstained? That motion passes, thank you very much. Okay, so we are moving on to our new business and committee chairs. The first up tonight is the Finance and Borough Administration. We did meet, so, part of my duties as president is to now fill in for Mr. Tintori's position until the, next one. Until it has been filled. So we did meet, the Finance and Borough Administrative Committee did meet earlier this month, and had quite of a lengthy meeting. So I'm gonna kind of go through everything we discussed and talk about what's coming up for this next month. So we did go over all of the third-party vendors, that Green Tree utilizes and looking at their overall costs. This included 3 engineering firms, Worcester, Gannett Plumbing, and LSSE, our IT services, which are Genler Integrations, telecommunications, which is Advent Communications, our HVAC, which is 2D, tree services, which is Hoffman, electrical, which is the light company, construction, which is CCSI, sewer inspections, which is either Robinson Pipe or Wilson Pipe, manage the website management, so like big updates to it, not the day-to-day, revise, the Geo Information System, which is Civic Vanguard, and our legal, which is either GRB, which is our solicitor, or Campbell Durant, which is our labor attorney. So, which we all knew that the engineering firms are the largest of these, in terms of cost. And we are interested in exploring, what hiring an in-person engineer would look like, because it would not eliminate the need for third-party engineers as a whole. Even when the borough employed an in-house engineer, we still used third-party engineer services for specific things. So the committee has asked for not just like the total breakdown of the costs paid, but we've asked Ms. Miller to work with our finance director in breaking down the costs related to specific projects. Because we want to take a look at these projects and seeing if these projects and measure them against like the qualifications and job duties of an in-house engineer. Looking at what the cost could be absorbed if we hire an in-house engineer, and which would still require additional engineering services. So additionally, we've asked the borough manager to gather data from communities around the county who do employ in-person engineers, not everyone does, how much they pay, and then their current job descriptions. The committee is going to review that information at their meeting this month. And it expects to be able to have information for council to discuss these data points and make a decision of if we would like to see having it going to an in-house posting to see if we could find from someone with a revised job description for that, and kind of seeing what we would still need to pay for with that, with third-party costs. We also discussed the police pension boards. The police pension board needs to have a council representative. This was Art Tintori before he retired. So I am going to assume this seat until it is filled. The police pension board does not meet very often. They meet quarterly. We also discussed staffing. There are positions, there is a position posted on our website right now for the public works superintendent. Applications are due Wednesday, November 5th. Interviews for the zoning vacancy are ongoing. Ms. Miller might have an update for any of that in her report. This is what we discussed a couple weeks ago. We also discussed that the committee would like to have all of council members contribute to performance evaluation for the borough manager. And we will be sending out a form for all individual borough council members to fill out for performance evaluation for the borough manager. She has 7 bosses. And then this month, and then we will have a meeting with the borough manager to happen in December to go over that. The preliminary budget meeting is on November 14th. The budget is going to be delivered and posted, correct, Ms., on the 7th.
7th or the 10th, and then it will be posted on the 12th.
It'll be posted on the 12th. My notes were a little all over. 17th.
The meeting.
It's the Monday.
The budget public hearing is on Monday, the 17th.
Yeah, so the 17th. And then the committee, talked to Ms. Miller and asked, her to make sure that the department heads were invited to the meeting, with the option for them to discuss their asks, if they would choose to do so. We will meet again this month. The date has not yet, been chosen, because there's a lot of scheduling of other meetings, but we are going to be meeting in November as well. That is the report that I have from that meeting.
All right, so I will, make a motion to ratify the actions of the borough manager in paying the October 2025 invoices from the general fund totaling $63,117.84, capital projects fund totaling $35,918.70, payroll account totaling $212,696.19, educational service agency fund totaling $6,030.52, and credit card for August of 2025 totaling $6,468.45.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? Okay, that one passes. Thank you.
All right, second up, I make a motion to approve payment of the November 2025 invoices from the general fund totaling $133,030.91. Storm sewer fund totaling $9,082.28. Sanitary sewer fund totaling $629,225.88. Capital projects fund totaling $52,194.29. Capital projects fund totaling $749,589.86. Bond fund totaling $1,246.98. And farmers market fund totaling $594.50.
And we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, there's a payment to me and the storm water fund is a credit back to our credit meter for our irrigation system. And that, so I just wanted to be transparent on that. Then I also have questions. I picked up the agenda over there on the table, which I usually don't. I usually just look at the bills online in the agenda packet. Do we typically just do an abbreviated version of this over there, or should everything that's in our agenda packet be?
Not somewhat abbreviated. I'm not sure what you're.
Whatever I picked up over there.
It should be the same as we have to. The bill list should be the same.
I mean, to be honest with you, I know I've been up here for some, I don't know.
The agenda is a little bit abbreviated, but the bill sheet, there's no way to abbreviate it.
Okay,
Those are small, missing.
I think so.
It would all be also posted online.
Okay.
And the one online would be numbered to correspond with the agenda motions.
So the open invoices by bank. I think that's what may be missing. We have it in our packet, but I don't think it's in the staple version. Or
transmit,
or it's on.
make this copy, so I'm not exactly,
Yeah.
but I don't see why that over there should be any different than what we have on, because there's no way to really do abbreviate.
Yeah, the 6/2/62 is it online. And then it jumps.
Looks like there's 17 pages.
Yeah.
And this agenda packet has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5.
The open invoices by the bank is online. Are you saying it's not in the printed one?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I have 62, we have 63.
Yeah, the open invoices is online. It is open in here.
It's not printed over there.
Like you, I don't
Okay,
look at that one.
yeah. Okay. So if anybody wants to see it, they can go online and check it out.
Yeah, it is online. It is. Okay, we had a motion, a second in discussion. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? All right, that one passes. Thank you.
I'd like to make a subsidiary motion under Finance and Borough Administration. I'd like to make a motion that the borough issues an immediate public statement clarifying that the recent political mailer sent out by Green Tree Democratic Committee featuring the borough's logo is not authorized or affiliated with Borough Green Tree.
Shouldn't that be under my committee?
Recreation,
Community of.
the game. Is that what it is? Is that what?
I don't think it matters where it is.
Should I repeat it or is I'm not getting set?
Oh, I'll second that.
Yeah. Okay, we have a motion and a second.
So that puts it on the agenda, right?
Yeah, to make a
Okay.
statement.
So, the full motion I would like is that the borough issue an immediate public statement clarifying that the recent political mailer sent by the Green Tree Democratic Committee featuring the borough's logo is not authorized or affiliated with the borough of Green Tree. And that the borough manager is directed to publish this statement using all official borough communication methods prior to 7 a.m. tomorrow. That's a motion.
I'll second that.
And I have some comments.
Sure, we have a motion and a second.
Yeah. Okay, the Democratic Committee, they did not, they used the logo, Green Tree logo. I'm the mayor here. I'd be particular no matter who used that logo. If a plumbing business used that logo to promote, I'd be upset. Anybody that uses our logo, maybe it's not illegal, but it's our logo. It's Green Tree Borough's logo. You need authorization. You need permission to use our logo. You just can't willy-nilly use our logo. The Democratic Committee, 4 members are sitting up here, used our logo. They said you don't mix the Green Tree Committee with Borough Council. They mixed the two. They mixed the committee with Borough Council by sending out using our logo. So we can't do anything legally, but what can we do? We can make a statement. We can make a statement saying that the election literature, as Dave Ray pointed out, is not authorized or affiliated with the borough, to separate the two. I think the people up here should stand up and say that they're two separate things. Like Ms. Barron has pointed out before, when people bring it up, they're two separate and distinct things. And let's make that clear that they're two separate and distinct. The second thing is, after this, I would like a policy. Let's get a policy here in Green Tree that you need permission or to, we want to prevent deceptive use. We don't want any misleading, deceptive, or unfair. Those are legal terms. But just because something's not illegal doesn't mean it's not deceptive. It can still be deceptive. It can still be misleading. It can still be unfair. So I think that literature that they put out using our logo without permission was deceptive, misleading, and unfair. So I think we need a policy so we have a little clout in the future so that we to prevent the separate use of unauthorized persons or entities using our logo. So I think that's the second step after the first step. So I usually don't get so inflamed on things, but I gotta protect the borough from people not using our logo willy-nilly without our permission for self-gain. And that's my statement.
And I was the mayor. That was where I my committee to look into this and build a policy against it rather than find.
Okay, we can get to that. We have a motion on the floor. That was my statement as to the.
Yeah, we have the motion on the floor. We have, any more discussion? Okay,
I would just. Like I said, the first council to issue a statement. For
Do you want to review it before, I'll draft it, do you want to review it before?
I think that Jake should draft it and put it out. And I'm totally okay with that.
I would want to review it before.
Yeah, I think we would all need to see it, but.
Jake, you can send that first thing.
Seven AM.
Why can't it go out at 7 AM? Why can't it go out at 7 AM? The motion on the floor is 7 AM.
I'll post. Polls open at 7.
It happened after everybody.
You want volunteers? I go.
Yeah, Mr. Leland will work on it. You just need to vote on the motion.
I'd like a roll call vote.
We can do a roll call vote.
Mr. Ray,
Yes.
Miss Demi,
Yes.
Miss House,
Yes.
Miss Schwartz,
Yes.
Mr. Panza,
Yes.
Miss Barron.
Yes. I would also say that I do think it is on the borough to have policies in place. Many people use that, logo. I do think it is in the best interest to have that, in place, and I do believe that if we're looking at drafting a motion and some policies and language, that again should go to Mr. Leland to draft that, and then we can review it, at the next meeting.
I agree. The sports team and political are two very different things.
Okay, yeah, that's all we have over here, infrastructure.
So on Monday, October 27th, the council and mayor met with representatives from PennDOT to discuss the I-376 infrastructure project. So the largest topics discussed that day were the Poplar Street off-ramp, and then also the bridge construction that goes over the parkway, whether there would be barriers in place and what the configuration of that bridge would look like. PennDOT heard our concerns. Obviously, no resolution was made. We voiced our concerns, particularly with the Poplar Street off-ramp, especially that right-hand turn going into the communities. We did ask when we would be receiving a formal response to the letter we sent them back in the spring. And they said they would be sending out additional information in the next couple of weeks. PennDOT does plan to hold an additional public meeting for the residents of Green Tree Borough sometime next. As you may have noticed, the sidewalk improvements to Green Tree Road are well underway. That is the phase 3 construction project. We do expect that to be completed in the next 2 to 3 weeks. The work is actively taking place between the hours of 9 AM and 3 PM. So just please be mindful of any delays when you're traveling down that section of the road. Borough staff continues to work with LSEE to develop solutions for multiple stormwater runoff issues. Particularly around Dale Drive, Holiday Drive, and Trumbull Drive storm projects. And those are all expected to be included in the 2026 storm sewer budget. The 2025 road program is about 95% complete, and remaining punch list items have been identified and should be completed in the next couple of months. Regarding the fiber optic property damage, lawsuit's been filed, so there are no additional updates at this time. Regarding that.
No, still progressing forward.
Perfect. And then the property at 358 Mansfield, the final steps are underway for the demolition of the house on that property. And a Blake grant will pay for that. So that is the end of my chair report, and I have resolution number 1378, community development block grant, year 62 for Green Tree ADA grant phase 5. I move that we adopt resolution number 1378, authorizing Char West DOG acting executive director to execute and file an application for funds with the CDBG Year 52 fund in the amount of $68,400 for the Borough of Green Tree ADA ramps phase 5.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. House,
Yes.
Ms. Demi,
Yes.
Mr. Panza,
Yes.
Mr. Ray,
Yes.
Ms. Schwartz,
Yeah.
Ms. Barron,
Yes. That motion passes. Thank you.
Green Tree Road sidewalk improvement phase 3 change order approved. I move we approve change order number 1 in the amount of $36,875 as presented by Cronin Enterprises LLC in accordance with LSSE's correspondence dated October 30th, 2020.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, I have a question, so. So Cronin Enterprises, they're doing the work on Green Tree Road now, correct? So what's the change orders in addition to the work that they're already doing? So this is an addendum to the contract. That's. And then, I couldn't tell, it's going over from West Manila up to Rhodes.
Up to roads, and there is a partial, replacement, kind of went back and forth on the one on West Manila, because it's, letting you know, that West Manila is not in very good shape. But yes, they are going to do some of them on West Manila because they felt. We had a couple of different opinions on how the sidewalks to be done, in consideration of the road, but yes, there are several bad patches along, West Manila as well. It's
Okay,
not
so
a
it's being
full
hired
replacement.
when you're from.
West Manila is not full, but then coming down roads is predominantly going to be replaced, because a lot of the curving there is also pretty much.
When will this work be completed?
I don't have an exact start date, but my guess is they will start that as they finish Green Tree Road.
So this calendar year?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
yes, for sure.
Okay, can we please have all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? Okay, that motion passes. Thank you. Moving on to public facilities, parks and equipment.
All right, we provided our list from our tour of the parks with things that we noticed that needed improvements, repairs, to Judy Miller to confirm with their assessment issue and carrier time. The PPU dugout repair is ongoing. It should be complete hopefully by the end of the week. I was down there this weekend. It's much nicer. Or Mr. Coppler, the pool bid was posted on October 16th. Bids are due by November 24th. It is a sealed bid process, so we do not know what has come in. We will not know until they review them after the deadline. So that is where the pool situation is at this moment. We have, Judy has been working on getting 2 more bids for AV improvements to the borough building and the social hall. Hopefully be able to review those soon. The light poles for Wilson Park have been ordered and will be going in. Judy, do we know a timeline on that?
Not yet. We unfortunately could not get another one to match the one that's there, so we're going to replace 2. Store the other one, and then we'll use that. There's just a single sunburst, but they have been ordered, which is great.
And then, as was noted earlier, we were scheduled to meet with Point Park University regarding the improvements on the Point Park field that they wanted to do. That meeting did get postponed, and we are trying to find a date to meet with them within the next couple of weeks. November gets a little tricky, it seems, for everybody's schedule. So hopefully that will happen soon. That is what I have for our public facilities right now, but I do have a resolution. So resolution 1379, statewide local share assessment, LSA grant, Park Edge Park improvements. Just to let people know, we are planning to do improvements to Park Edge Park. This is just to acquire the money. No planning has been done. Nothing has been selected for the park at this time. This is just to see if we can get some money to put towards any improvements that are done. And when that time comes, meetings will take place with the residents to get feedback about what we want in that space going forward. I move that we adopt resolution 1379, authorizing the borough manager to file an application for a statewide local share assessment grant in the amount of $169,900 to be used for Park Edge Park improvement.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Schwartz,
Yes.
Ms. Demi,
Yes.
Ms. House,
Yes.
Mr. Panza,
Yes.
Mr. Ray,
Yes.
Ms. Barron,
Yes. That motion passes. Thank you very much. Moving on to public safety and equipment.
Public safety and equipment, thank you. In October, the Green Tree Police Department handled 13 accidents, 41 ambulance assists, and 11 mutual aid calls. Officers also responded to several domestic and mental health incidents. With only a few criminal cases, burglars. Thank you, very much. One mail fraud and one DUI. There were also 2 reckless driving pursuits that were safely ended. The department assisted neighboring agencies, addressed a few community complaints, and took part in the DEA drug take back, collecting 185 pounds of medication. Officers also joined Halloween events with Dayton School, Fire Department, the library, and were visibly present throughout the community on Halloween night, keeping our trick-or-treaters safe. Deer management update. The Public Safety Committee recently hosted a public information session on deer management featuring Game Warden Evan McDaniel, who serves the southwestern region of Allegheny County. The purpose of the session was to share facts about deer populations, state regulations, and management options for communities like Green Tree. It was a really well done presentation. He explained that deer populations remain high throughout Allegheny County due in part to fewer active hunters and the abundant suburban habitat. He emphasized the most effective way to manage the deer numbers is through harvesting does, the female deer, since the reproductive capacity of the female population determines the herd growth. So what happens is the hunters go out, they like to get the trophy buck, but that doesn't really manage the herd. It's the harvesting of the does. He also reviewed safety regulations for hunting, noting that lawful archery hunting requires a 50-yard buffer from occupied buildings. So under PA state law, hunters can archery hunt deer in Green Tree as long as they're within that safety zone. He encouraged boroughs to consider ordinances that prohibit feeding wildlife, since food sources can draw deer into residential areas and contribute to disease spread. Here's something that I learned. He clarified that while deer often get blamed for Lyme disease, the disease is actually spread by ticks that feed on mice, primarily mice. And so that was interesting. And then he also talked about that fertility control, so birth control for deer is not practical or cost effective in Pennsylvania. I know that's come up a couple of times in our meetings. He mentioned that residents who wanted to deter deer were advised to use repellents such as slippery fence and to consider planting deer resistant species. And so what is the borough going to do about it? The borough is going to, we're going to continue to collect resident feedback. We're exploring options for lawful hunting access and review possible ordinance changes to reduce conflicts between people and wildlife. So primarily around feeding deer. The other option that he spoke about was sharpshooters or deer calling. And the Public Safety Committee met and we unanimously thought that that was probably not a good idea. That you gave more to mention how costly that is and how it is not really that effective. I think he said Peters Township has been doing it for 15 plus years. They haven't really seen a reduction. But that said, you know, if you're a hunter in Green Tree, you are under state law allowed to hunt in Green Tree. So there's
Right.
bow hunting.
Bow hunting.
But if you have enough Yeah, bow hunting, let's just leave it at bow hunting. All right, let's keep it there.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to traffic and pedestrian safety. Over the past month, the borough contracted a traffic engineer and collected speed data on School Street, Rhodes Avenue, and Avocall Drive. The preliminary findings or recommendations show that most drivers on School Street are exceeding the posted 25 mph speed limit, averaging around 33 mph. The engineer or the expert said the steep hill in that stretch contributes to the problem. And he, again, preliminarily just questioned that perhaps a speed bump or raised table could potentially remedy, to help slow vehicles down on that street. Not saying that we're putting in a speed bump yet or a table, but he just said, given the speeds that they measured on School Street, that could be an option that we consider. On Rhodes Avenue, and I believe, I just got the report today, but I believe, Judy might be able to help me here. It's between Poplar and, Sheldon. Part of Rhodes, not to Glencoe.
Yeah, that was, between Poplar and Sheldon,
Yeah. And
85% of the traffic was only about 4 miles.
right, so speeds were more controlled on roads. And he said that that's generally because the street is shorter and that blind spot going over the hill just generally keeps drivers slowed down. And then on Avocall, during the study, the traffic volume was relatively low. And the short distance between stop signs on Avocall keeps speeds down based on the data. Doesn't appear to be a major cut through. Again, this is all preliminary. We really haven't had time to go into the data. This is just high level summary of what I received this afternoon. In addition, this was very serendipitous. We're doing new sidewalks between Forest, or actually between McMonagle and Banbury. And after the last meeting, Public Works found 2 electronic pedestrian crossing signs over in the garage that were originally purposed. I think this was like maybe going back 5 years for Banbury and Forest. So those are the exact 2 streets that we wanted to purchase signs for. So this is great. And so those are currently being installed at those 2 intersections, and the company doing the sidewalks were able to outfit without any additional costs to install those signs. And I think the Borough Public Works will be installing the signs once everything's retrofitted.
Yeah, they had to be part of the HOV as well.
Yes. The HOV, the,
Highway office.
right, okay. And I think that is my general report. We do have, so we covered the appointing the 2 officers to their full-time position. We also have another appointment for our emergency management coordinator. So the Public Safety Committee unanimously recommends the appointment of Matthew Schwartzfogger as the borough's new emergency management coordinator. Matthew brings extensive experience in emergency and operations planning, drawing on his background during his military service. He will complete the required management training and begin updating Green Tree's emergency management plan to ensure the borough is fully prepared to respond effectively in the event of a major emergency or natural disaster. Matthew also plans to appoint deputy coordinators to strengthen coordination and build redundancies across departments, and that's also a recommendation coming from, I believe, the state's recommendation, right, Judy? I didn't see who sent that email, but it's the state.
So council is essentially approving the recommendation. We are recommending
Right.
him to be appointed, but the appointment's actually done by.
We're right, yes, so. Yes, so I move that we authorize the borough manager to forward to Governor Shapiro's office a recommendation to appoint Matthew Schwartzfogger as the emergency management coordinator for Green Tree Borough.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, can we have all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, that motion passes. Thank you very much.
I'd just like to point out Matthew is here tonight. You have to stand up.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I just wanted to take a moment and thank you so much, council, for appointing or recommending my appointment today. It will be an honor to serve you all in this capacity. It's been a little while since we've had a proper emergency management program here. Fortunately, sort of looking through the policies, that's something that I have some expertise in providing. So I hope to be working with you all soon in various ways to communicate the new plan, to build a new plan so that we are more sustainable and more flexible when it comes to the emergencies, from small little things like power outages for one or two houses, all the way up to, God forbid, crises that are regional in nature. So thank you all, and I look forward to serving you.
Okay, thank you. We're moving on to recreation and community events.
Thank you. At last month's meeting, I stated, which was in the minutes, that I would be giving a presentation on why we should be joining the South Hills Cog, but however, somehow it's not on the agenda. So I don't know if I should hold off till next month to give my presentation,
Yeah.
in case there's people that wanted to come up and talk about, Shard West
Yeah.
Cog.
You,
Okay.
yes, and
Okay,
we
so,
do get just remember to look at the
yes.
agenda,
So if it could be, please, on next month's meeting, my presentation of why we should join Shard West Cog.
Sure. Shake on.
Yeah. why we-
We're already in charge.
Sure.
Yes. I think, yes, because it's not on this
So-
agenda, but you
Yeah.
do see an agenda that is put out ahead of time,
Yes,
and you could have told the borough manager you wanted it on there, just for the record.
well, I thought
But
we could wait till.
next month's great.
So
Wait to see I just wanted to see if you had prepared. I would have told him to.
I'm very prepared. I'm ready to go. I'm
Yeah, I don't.
I'm ready to go. However, in lieu of myself not giving a report, I would have to say that the only item I have on my agenda is to talk about Green Tree Light Up Evening, which of course I don't want violating copyright laws, so we have to say light up evening rather than light up Green Tree. Light up Green Tree, I know. But it's light up Green Tree. Yes, on November 22nd, which was a Saturday.
They have a copy.
And that will be the end of my report.
Since I'm part of your committee, I just want to acknowledge all the work that the rec committee put into the Halloween parade at the fire hall. It was a great event. Couple of vendors, bunch of vendors, a DJ, thanks to the fire department for hosting at the fire hall. Great event, strong turnout, and again, thanks to everybody that helped out that night. It was a great event.
Okay, and we have community engagement and communication, Ms. Denny.
Wonderful. We have a date for the volunteer expo, December 8th, so right. We are the holiday spirit and giving back to our neighbors and community. We will be hosting a volunteer expo here in the borough building. I'm working with Kim to confirm the roster of borough groups and committees that will be invited to bend here, and then we will be sending out invites to community to invite them to come, learn about all of the groups. We do encourage all of the groups, including things like the zoning board and planning commission, even if there are not currently openings. We will encourage everyone to attend so that community members can meet with them, learn about what they do, so that way when there are openings, people feel more prepared, look out for that. So that will be coming, and again, that is Monday, December 8th, the evening, we will be hosting that. And then,
And thank you so much. Mayor's report, Mayor Shank.
Yes, first I'd be remiss if I didn't say something about Deanna Damsky. She was a very good person. She died on October 16th, 2025. When I was first elected to council in 2005, Jan worked in the Green Tree office. I knew very little about the day-to-day operations of the borough, local government, but I could always go to her. She used to ask for information and advice. She was very personable, knowledgeable, and dedicated to the borough. More importantly, she had a very close relationship with her husband Jim and her 3 daughters. I would miss her. Four daughters, geez, I skipped one, 4 daughters. Geez, I knew 3 of them, I'm sorry. I will miss Jan, and I'm sure many of you will too. So we thank Jan for her service, for all the years she worked for the borough, and for her involvement. Moving on, in regard to the food banks, Shannon pointed out some very good information. I would request that that information be put maybe on our website, where people can go if they need help, and also where they can go if they want to give. So both the divvy up 2 different things, need help and giving. Turning to the third thing I have, the Green Tree Police Department's not going to shave during the month of November, so if they look a little bit scrappy, they're gonna Sasquatch. I was thinking about participating. I'm gonna participate in a different way. I need a haircut now. I'm not gonna get a haircut in the month of November, but I'm gonna let it grow wilder. So anyhow, I'm going back to my high school days. I wanted to say when they were, but they were in the 1960s. So, anyhow, my hair, when I got married, was a lot longer than this. But anyhow, in regard to Sasquatch, why they're doing that, we're asking support to, for an entire month of November. They're gonna let their beards grow, and they're gonna give food to the Unity Food Pantry that Miss Barron mentioned, to assist people. They're also accepting monetary donations. You can drop the food off here. I'm not quite sure where.
Right in the lobby, yeah.
Right in the lobby, I'm sorry. And they have, I left 20 of these here. They have what do you call these?
QR code.
Yeah, see, I did go to school in the 60s. For QR codes. I take my wife when I go to a restaurant because I don't know how to use them. But anyhow, the QR code, you can get more information. So I'm contributing $50, and all the police officers are to participate in it. And we'll get a picture at the very end of the officers and myself on that. So it comes out at a good time with all the what's going on in the federal government. So that's good that we're gonna do that. In regard to functions, I've gone to the 2 Halloween events, the trunk or treat over at Aiken School. The police also participated. I went to the fire hall, which Mr. Ray pointed out was a very good event, well organized, a lot of events. Thanks for the rec committee. The police also participated in that. I try to connect with local officials. I went to Sarah Emirato's event up at it was right across the street up in Mount Lebanon from where I work. I got her ear for about 5 minutes, talked to her one-on-one, just introduced myself, talked for a while. But she was very impressive. She's totally engaged. They say when you speak to people, be involved in the moment. She was involved in the moment, excellent eye contact, and she was very confident and engaged. So I thought it was important to make contact. In the last month, I've also talked to Bob Pomocino, Dan Deasy, and Wayne Fontana at various events. Some name dropping, but that's my job to make communication with these people. I did go to that deer management meeting. I did write an article for the newsletter. I'm sure Dave Wright touched on it too, but I brought up 15 points that would be in the upcoming newsletter, that particular article that I wrote. Couple other things here that I have, just the borough fire truck, it's coming along, I hope.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, okay. So, do you know when?
I'll get a pump on. There is no date yet on it.
Okay, I'm just, but anyhow, so we did do the change order and everything.
Yes.
Still in order, so that's great, we're gonna get that. Hopefully we get a code enforcement officer pretty soon. We have a couple of things, Judy's cross her fingers, that we all are. We have some vacant properties here in Green Tree. We have some vacant businesses, the biggest being the Pittsburgh Plaza property. If you go up there, it's not very well kept and stuff, so we really need to probably contact the owner, find out what they're gonna do with that. And then we have that Dairy Queen down there on.
It's for sale.
It's for sale.
Okay, very good, Chief, very good, I missed that.
Problem solved.
Okay, hopefully.
Well, someone bought.
Okay, something nice. And then we have a couple, then we have a couple of residents here, so, hopefully that comes along. Another thing here. Council's gonna be interviewing people for vacancies. I'm still a little bit, concerned about council vacancies. There's one in particular that's coming up, just the date of the resignation I brought up before. If the resignation was earlier, the general electorate could vote on who they wanted to, place. If the resignation was a little later, the new council could vote on. So either the general electorate or the new council, but the timing of the resignation, they call it a retirement. You can't call it a retirement. When you're an elected official and you serve for 4 years, it's a resignation, not a retirement. But anyhow, the current council is going to be the one that votes on the new person. Current council is 2 members up here were not elected, they were appointed. Now we have a third one that's gonna be appointed, and potentially a fourth one that might be appointed come January. So I think it's best that the general populace elects people, and just in my general statement there. So anyhow, yeah, I'm done there, but that's all fair game, what I said in my opinion. So thank you, end of my report.
Okay. My report, the main thing I needed to talk about tonight was, the library board asked that I, thank everyone for attending the library book sale. It is their largest fundraiser that they do. The library, does get some of its funding from the borough. It also gets funding from table games, from the RAD, but it also still needs to fundraise to do the work that they do. We had a large number of board members who came out for the whole week to set up the room, to take down the rooms, to organize the volunteers, to organize the money. We have someone who goes through all of the books and finds anything that is best of the best, that could be collectible or that is worth more. We have team volunteers who come and unpack the boxes. We have volunteers who come and pack up the boxes. It is a large undertaking. And it is something that the board took over in 2021 from the Friends of the Library Group, which disbanded. It is a very large undertaking, and it cannot be done without countless hours from the library board, from our library staff, and from the volunteers who help make it work. So for everyone who came to shop, we appreciate it. Your dollars go far with the library, so thank you. That's it.
The rescue, like beating it to death, just the Rotary food, so the police have the food drive, so if you are able to bring in things here, that's obviously appreciated, but we will come to your door to pick them up. The Rotary will be out that morning of the 22nd. We do appreciate if it's a rainy day that they're not in paper bags, because we've had situations where we go to pick them up and the food just literally goes everywhere. So if you try to put them under cover, if it's a rainy day, we really appreciate that as well. Leaf collection starts on the actually last week, and it will continue through the month of November. So get your leaves to the curb so that they can be good. So you already covered late at night. And really just want to thank our residents on Green Tree Road. That sidewalk project, if you drive down through there, you know it's extremely intrusive to their properties. And they have all been really kind and really patient. And I just want to kind of give a thank you to them for being that patient during that project. I mean, a lot of them can't get in the driveways, they have to park on other streets and come back around. So, and also thanks to some of the neighbors over there for looking out for their neighbors. They might be a little bit older and walking, you know, around the block to get back home is not so easy. So they're trying to work with each other to support, you know, which is, you know, was really kind of hard for me to see that. So, and then I was also just gonna mention, again, council will be conducting, council candidate interviews on November tenth, beginning at 6:30 p.m. And, we will likely get really good interest, expressed in that. And so the interviews will likely be also conducted on, November the 24th, also beginning at 6:30. And then sandwiched in between those two things would be the budget meeting on the 17th. So if the Paris on the month of November with us on Monday means we'll all be here.
All right, thank you. That is all we have. We can adjourn this meeting at 9:15 PM.
Yes, I would like to make a motion that we adjourn this council meeting.
Again.
Officially adjourned, 9:15.